All right. Hello, everybody. I am Brian from Wicco's Carnivore, and we have Sana from Mrs. Perfectly Imperfect Keto. I got it right, right? Did I
Yes,
say
you
it
got
right?
it
All
right. It's a
right.
mouthful, but you got it right.
All right. So today, while we're waiting for a few questions to come in, why don't I ask you a question? What did you eat today?
So let me think back. I made chicken nuggets, which are actually like straight across the ways of eating between like keto, carnivore, ketovore, but it's the chicken nuggets, and everyone makes it like different. But I just use ground chicken. So I made like a double batch of it yesterday so I can kind of have some leftovers for next day because I work from home, but I get 30-minute lunch breaks. So that 30 minutes goes by so super fast. I don't know what your lunch schedule is like when you work, but when I tell you anyone that has experienced a 30-minute lunch break, it is like crunch time between kind of getting food made. So having leftovers is such like a saving grace for me. So I had that for my brunch because right now I'm doing two mad. And I had, I want to say it was like five or six over easy eggs. And then for dinner, I did salmon fillets stuffed with shrimp. And it was like a mixture of like shrimp and cream cheese. And I'm not dogmatic with my seasoning. So, like, I had a little bit of like dry parsley, some garlic powder. But that's I had probably, I want to say like three or four fillets of the salmon stuffed with the shrimp. What did you have?
So I ate twice today as well. I had a 14-ounce New York strip at lunchtime, and
Oh,
then and then this evening I had steak again. Um, I had, let's see, it would have been like an 8-ounce New York strip, and then um, probably about like 4 ounces of sirloin steak. So I had steak twice today.
listen, nothing is wrong with that because if I could literally have steak for every single meal, I definitely would. We
Yeah.
actually just went, July 24th was actually like my first day kind of getting back into the swing of things of like working full time again. Because a year ago, I had decided to just kind of up and leave a toxic job. So, my previous paycheck, I will definitely be transparent. I have no issue with being transparent, but it was only like a week's worth of pay. So when I tell you, I was happy that it was like enough because obviously when you get that first check, you don't have, any benefits or anything coming out of it. You just got to pay Uncle Sam
Hmm.
and you get the rest of it without no insurance or nothing coming out. So I took advantage of getting one of those boneless ribeye slabs from Costco. Oh my goodness. I was so happy I was at least able to purchase one, but I am taking my time going through those because I definitely want them to last until I get my next paycheck, but nothing is wrong. If I could do steak every single day, I would. I would do it for every single meal. I probably would even have 3 a day. I would be like, "Forget too mad, I will have it breakfast, lunch, and dinner."
Yeah. I actually had a lot of ground beef over the past week, and the last couple of days I've had steak again. So, um, I guess I go in streaks with what I eat, but
Oh, yeah,
um,
I do too. I like to I mean, I hear a lot of people say, on carnivore mainly because a lot of people figure, oh, it's so restrictive and oh, all we're eating is meat. And, people that, do lion diet, they're strictly, doing ruminant animals. But for me, like, I like to have the variety. Like, I do not, even like today with the seafood I didn't have any meat at all with that dinner. It was simply just salmon and shrimp. But I think, like, that is what kind of sets people apart because I am not afraid to kind of come out of this like spectrum that like you have to do beef or you have to, every meal has to be steak. I think what has kept me consistent because I'm almost it's going to be coming up September 1st, like I'm going to be 8 months carnivore after being 4 years keto, and I think the main thing that has kept me on track because there was a lot of variety in keto. What
Mhm.
I tell you, I don't know if you've ever done keto before, but there is practically a keto recipe for practically anything that was on the standard American diet.
Yeah.
You could Google search any recipe on a standard American diet, and I bet you a keto version will come up for it. So there was a bunch of variety that I was coming from 4 years keto. So kind of having the variety on carnivore has been huge for me. I mean, it's kept me on plan. Like I have not felt like I need to succumb to anything like standard American diet or even anything that would be considered, keto or ketovore. I have been able to keep consistent with carnivore. May some people come at me for the seasonings that I incorporate. Yeah, but I did it from a reintroduction approach. Like I didn't just
Mm.
say, you know what, I'm just going to go all in with all the seasonings. I made sure to kind of be smart about it and kind of see after I consistently was doing carnivore for 60 days, I made sure to slowly reintroduce seasonings. But I think the
Mm.
consistency is definitely because of variety still being allowed with carnivore. Where, not every day for me has to be like a beef day. It does not have to be a steak day. Like, I'm not afraid to throw in chicken here and there as long as it doesn't irritate me, as long as I'm not getting any adverse side effects and it's still allowing me to reach my better health goals. I include a lot of variety.
Yeah, that's good.
How do you normally have your ground beef?
Um, uh, so I've done it a few times with like a few scrambled eggs, and then other times where I just made them into like burger patties and did it that way.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah. Yep.
We got a
Okay,
lot of
so
questions racking up here.
yeah, so I'm gonna go through a couple of things here, and then we'll go into the questions. So, hello, Nicole. Let's see who else here we have. My
That's
broca's
Renee.
broke. Okay. So hello.
You'll
Um,
always see the same image from Renee, but she is very creative with her names, the handle name, she changes it.
oh, okay. Susie says hello. Hello to Susie.
Hi, Susie.
I know Rick's here in the house. He said hello earlier. We've got Twin Brook Acres. Um, Cindy is here. Hello, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy. Yeah, Cindy and I will actually be doing our first channel live on Friday. So I'm
Cool.
just going to insert a shameless plug. So anyone that comes, show us some grace because first time, we're not going to know what we're doing. So definitely show us some grace if you're there.
Okay. I see some questions here. I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, first question here from Nicole. If you could have one carnivore meal the rest of your life, what would it be? So I'll let you go first.
If I could, oh my goodness, that is a tricky one. I honestly would probably choose lamb. I love lamb so much. I grew up on it because I am part Turkish and part Indian. So I grew up like in a household where my mother, when she went grocery shopping, she purchased from the butcher the entire animal, the entire lamb. And I loved all of it. Whether it was like the lamb chops, the rack of lamb, the lamb roast. stewed lamb. I loved it so much. And it's something that's nostalgic for me, coming from my childhood, eating so much of it. So that's probably what I would choose when it comes to the rest of your life.
Okay. Um, Seeing that I just said I ate steak twice today, it's probably no surprise that mine is gonna be a steak and it's gonna be ribeye. I just
Oh,
I
yes.
think the fat content in the ribeye is just right, and, um, yeah, it's that's my go-to, so if that was
Yeah.
my one meal I could eat the rest of my life, that's what it would be.
Yeah, if I had a second runner up, yes, it would definitely be ribeye as well.
Yep. Alright, let's see, Nicole has another question for us. What is your favorite low carb meal to make for your family, and is your family doing low carb with you?
All right, so first part of the question, so what is your favorite low carb meal to make for my family? So I want to say the favorite that they love is the cheese shell tacos. So I don't know if anyone's ever made it before, but you simply just take shredded cheese, and I shred my own cheese just straight off the block. I mean, it just shreds and melts so much better, and it's just a lot more fresher, and then you don't have to worry about like the wonky, anti-caking when it comes to like them adding potato starch in the shredded cheese bag. But they love when I make the actual cheese shells because what you do is you simply just like melt on parchment paper in the oven or in the microwave. You kind of take the shredded cheese and put it in like a circular disc shape and it simply melts. Once it melts, you kind of just take it and put it over anything you have. Like you can use any like cooking spoon or whatever and kind of rest it over to get that shape of like that taco shell dip to it. But they love those cheese shells and their favorite filling in it is actually steak. So that is their absolute favorite low carb or keto meal is steak tacos and the taco shell being made with cheese. And as far as them doing low carb with me, so I'm the only one that left off being 4 years keto and going carnivore January 1st of this year. But my family, they are still over 4 years keto now. So all of us as a family started keto January of 2019 and they've kept on. They're more so meat heavy because obviously with me cooking a lot of meats for my meal, they're simply doing the same. So I want to say maybe one or two meals as far as dinner out of the week is probably more keto for them. But for the most part, they're actually by coincidence doing carnivore a lot of the time because I'm the one that cooks.
Okay. So I'll answer real quick and I'll
Mhm.
start with my family. They are not doing low carb or carnivore, so it's just me. But I did today for dinner. I made the steak. I made some sirloin and some New York strip, and I made it for the whole family, and everybody got to eat some steak. And they didn't have any other sides, so for at least one day, they ate carnivore, I guess. So
You
that kind of
see,
counts as something.
just like I don't know if you're familiar with semi-retired Bob, Mr. Bob.
Uh huh.
I call him Mr. Bob, but semi-retired Bob, he considers, as long as you're doing 1% better, in a way you're still winning. So
Yeah.
just getting them to have, that steak every now and again, it's still better.
Hmm. I agree. All right, let's see. Next question here from Air Frying Auntie. How are you both cooking your steaks? Mine end up on my air fryer grill. So how do you do your steaks?
So for the most part, I do mine in the air fryer. I wish I had a larger air fryer because I actually have one of those circular, like round Ninja Foodie air fryers. So I can only do, depending on like the width, because that's usually kind of what gets me in trouble is the width of the steak and, two not being able to fit. But I usually like the air fryer only because for a cut like ribeye, the fat, oh my goodness, it just crisps up so nicely in an air fryer. And I don't have a cast iron. I don't have a grill. We have a Blackstone, but I have not attempted because I am so nervous to ruin expensive steak on a Blackstone. People say you can do it, but I'm still skeptical because, it just for me, I just can't imagine for it to kind of work on a flat top like that, but mine always end up in just my air fryer.
Okay. So I have a pellet grill and I cook mine
Oh,
on that. And so more recently, Chad, mineralist carnivore,
yeah.
got me trying the dry brine with just Redmond's salt about 24 hours ahead of time, and I've been doing that, and it's great that way. So that's what I'm doing
Yeah,
now.
because he was talking about it on, Nicole on Former Fat Girls live stream one time about the dry brine process that he went through, and we were all asking him if he can actually do a video covering it because we were so curious because it sounded amazing.
Yeah, it makes them really nice and tender. So I've been doing that, and then I put them on the pellet grill. I like medium rare, so
Mm.
my depending on how thick they are, probably somewhere around 10, 12 minutes. If they're not quite as thick, then a little less, or if they're even more, really thick, then I might go more like 15 minutes. But I like to have that medium rare taste. So that's how I cook my steaks. All
I hear you.
right. Let's see. So there's one before we go to the next question. I saw. Let me find now. Um, oh, Nicole, yes. Thank you. Make sure that you guys hit the like button on both of our channels for us. That'll help to um, get in the algorithm so that more people see that we have something going on here.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Okay, where I know I saw something that I wanted to bring up. There's a lot of chat going on, so trying to find it
Yeah.
now is hard.
It was a question?
No, it was somebody that had subscribed, so I just wanted to
Oh,
shout them
okay.
out, but now I'm
Let
having
me
trouble finding
see.
it.
I'm gonna go through and look. But thank you, thank you. Anyone that subscribes on either end, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We
Oh, here we
definitely
go. Here's one of
appreciate it.
them. Joy W. I'm sorry. I'll subscribe
Oh,
with you on that.
yes.
Thank you. And I think I saw another one, but maybe not. Well, I think there was another one. If I missed it, I'm sorry, but thank you. All
Thank you,
right, so let's
Joe,
go.
for supporting Brian. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
yes, thank you. So let's go to the next question. Susie, do you do any weekly food prep like hard-boiled eggs, bacon, cheese cubes, etc.?
Oh, goodness. I try so hard to kind of be like a food prepper or a meal prepper. I wish I could be that kind of person because I have tried, best believe I have tried. I want to say it was probably 2 weeks ago. We actually, when we went to Costco, we purchased like those aluminum storage pans that you can simply just, prep like a bunch of stuff, whether you're cooking up like a bunch of meat and you can kind of just put it in the aluminum pan and kind of store them away in the fridge. Yeah, that lasted maybe like 3 days. 'Cause at first I was like, "Oh, well, maybe instead of prepping like a week, I'll just kind of do maybe like every 2 days to kind of help myself out a little bit." But no, I mean, the hard-boiled eggs kinda because sometimes I'll do like a big batch because even like with my husband doing keto, he likes to take hard-boiled eggs to work to have for his brunch because he's also the same. He doesn't do breakfast. He'll just have his coffee come the morning with just like some heavy whipping cream, no sweetener at all, and he'll just go in with his brunch. Um, but no, when it comes to the actual food prep, no, not really. I wish I could get kind of more into it, but my weekend kind of just gets away from me. Even if I figured, oh, I'm going to commit like a Sunday, yeah, it doesn't really happen. What
Okay.
about you? Do you food prep at all?
So not really, but I kind of have with the hard-boiled eggs a few times where I'll make like a dozen and then I'll have them for, a few different days. Um, but most of the time I don't prep. I'm terrible with that. I just
Yeah, I'm horrible with it.
sometimes I even forget to take meat out and like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I've got nothing taken out. So now I'm like, okay, I probably have to do something in like the instant pot or something now. What am I gonna do? So yeah, I'm not very good at doing that.
I'm the same way. Oh my gosh. It's like literally have to be like my own cheerleader if I remember to take something out before work to defrost it for dinner. But meal prep, yeah. I wish I was made like that, but no.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Next question. John asks, how many eggs do you eat in a typical week?
Oh my goodness. I never really gave it much thought. Definitely, I mean, me personally, a lot is what I would say because I mean, just literally for my brunch alone, I could have like 5 or 6 eggs. Um, so you figure, the whole 7 days out of the week, it could practically be anywhere from like 30 to 42 eggs a week. But as far as like a household, we get our eggs like the cheapest because I try not to kind of get, too crazy with farm eggs or like brown eggs. We just literally just go with like the cheap of the cheap, like Walmart large white eggs, is what we get because it's like $5 and change for a 60 count of eggs. And we get 2 boxes. So we get like 120 eggs every single week. And best believe, come like the next following week, we have to purchase more because as a household, we go through 120 eggs in a week for a household of 4. So there's
Mm.
a lot of eggs being eaten, but personally for me, I would say out of the whole week, I mean, it's probably anywhere from like 30 plus eggs.
Okay.
Do you incorporate eggs?
I have been, not very often, like maybe twice a week. So I'd say I probably have a dozen eggs in a week, probably like 6 eggs each time.
Oh, okay.
um, I do, I would say that right now I got to kind of experiment a little bit because I ate 8 eggs one day and I had some issues. I had some cramping and I thought like,
Oh,
okay, maybe there's something wrong with these eggs. Um, and somebody else in the house had 2 eggs from that carton and they were
yeah.
fine.
Oh,
So a
okay.
few days later, I had 2 eggs with a steak and I had some cramping again. And it's the first 2 times that's ever happened to me. So I don't know if all of a sudden I have an intolerance I didn't have before, or there's just something with that particular carton of eggs or what. So I don't know. I'm going to have to experiment. But I don't have eggs
No,
always that
absolutely.
often. So I'll have to see the next time um I get brave enough, I guess, to try eggs
Yeah.
again.
Well, I mean,
Because right
that's
now I don't know.
good. That's good because, like, right now, you're kinda going through that period of, like, abstaining from the eggs, and then once you do the reintroduction, it's a true N equals 1 experiment because now here you're
Mm,
not having any, and then when you do have it, it'll be like a true experiment, a true reintroduction that you can kind of test it out, but I would purchase, like, that same brands or that same eggs that you had and see. 'Cause I hear different things from people, like, some people say they can only have a particular brand or they can only have, like, farm eggs.
mm,
Some people say that they can only have the yolk. They can't even have the white because they said that the white is what's causing them issues, that it actually, I guess, causes them inflammation if they incorporate the whites of the egg. But for me, like, thankfully, like, eggs has not been a problem yet, thankfully. Um, yeah, because I've been incorporating them all along, even, like,
mm.
transitioning into, like, triple B and E and transitioning into carnivore. Thankfully, I haven't had any issues.
Yeah. What's weird with my situation was like a day or two before the first time that I had the problem with the eggs, I had eggs in something then that they were just part of it. It wasn't just eggs, right? And I didn't have any problems then. So I'm not really sure.
Oh.
I guess I'll have to figure it out and I'll report back to people what happened, but I'm not really sure yet. So that's where I'm at with that. Okay, so here's a question. I'm new to your channel. Are you keto carnivore? Can you share a little about you for the newbie? Okay. So first of all, thank you for subscribing and being on our live stream tonight. So I started out in April of 2022 doing keto, and I did it for about 2 to 2.5 months, and um, I lost a little bit of weight, not a lot, like maybe 10 pounds, I think. I was doing okay with it, but I was also continuing to research about carnivore and, watching like Dr. Sean Baker and Professor Bart Kay and of course Dr. Ken Berry and so forth. And I was getting more and more convinced to do carnivore. So I felt that that was the proper way for me to go, proper human diet and all that. So in beginning of July of 2022, I went to carnivore. So I'm now just over 13 months doing carnivore. In the time at doing carnivore, so well, first of all, with keto, I lost about 10 pounds or so. And then since I've gone to carnivore, I have lost 75 pounds. Um, I've gotten rid of joint pain and arthritis in my big toes. My blood pressure is lower, better under control. Um, I have more energy and I'm a happier person. I'm a calmer person.
Mm.
So I used to um, get upset at things easily before, and I'm not so much anymore, right? I'm more calm about things, and I'm able to handle when people have uh, different opinions than I do, where before it would get me upset. And let's see. So another big thing that I had was AFib, atrial fibrillation, where your heart rate goes into a really fast heartbeat. And they're called AFib episodes. I started getting that in 2018, and I've been over a year now without a single episode. And
Oh,
before I went to
wow.
carnivore, I was probably having a couple a week.
Oh
So
my gosh,
that's a
amazing.
big one. Yeah, that's a big one that improved for me. So I think those are I don't think I really missed there was like some mild depression, but it wasn't bad depression, but that's cleared up for me as well. So I think those are most of the things. Like the joint pain is huge for me. Um, Before doing carnivore, if I would work out, I had all kinds of braces on, like
Wow.
ankle braces, knee braces, and stuff, and I'd still have trouble and be sore. If I walked a longer walk, my ankles and feet would flare up, and I'd have like these really bad flare ups where my foot would swell, and I had trouble walking for like up to a week or two at a time when that would happen.
Mm.
And that doesn't happen anymore. Um, so yeah, there's been a lot of good positives for me. And then I guess I started the channel about 3 months or so ago, just because I wanted to share my experiences and help to get the the carnivore diet more mainstream. I think that the more people that we have doing channels on YouTube and other social media that are talking about all the improvements that they've seen, and the the huge health benefits that there's been, will just help to get more people, the awareness out there and to help more
Oh,
people
sure.
out. And I mean, there's people like, you look at like Shaun White, he had type 2 diabetes and he cured that with the carnivore diet. So there's people that have cured a lot bigger things than I have. And that's another thing I do is I like to bring people on and interview people or do lives like we're doing tonight, just to get other people's experiences and get, more, just more about the carnivore diet out there to people. So
Absolutely, and congratulations. And I applaud
thank you.
you for, not only mentioning, that you had the 75-pound weight loss, but highlighting your non-scale victories. I applaud you for that because that is kind of something that I try to promote on my channel, trying to have the mindset that yes, the scale might budge, it might show such like a huge victory, and sometimes it doesn't. We're all so very different. All our bodies are unique, they're different. I'm thankful for all of us being, a mix and variety of people because it keeps the world, definitely interesting that way. But I think it's just so important. So I want to thank you and tell you that I appreciate you for highlighting your non-scale victories because the things that you mention as far as non-scale victories, those are huge. And like those were, to me, those will always supersede anything the scale, would ever show me or you.
Yeah.
So that's huge. Wow.
And I like to really talk about the different non-scale victories, because the weight loss thing is something I did need and it's great,
Right.
but the some of the things like the joint pain and the AFib, those things are like completely life changing for me. Um, so they really mean so much more to me than the weight loss. And I do still need to lose quite a bit more body fat, especially in the
Right.
belly. But again, like I've had time periods before in the past where I lost weight, but I've never had these kind of health benefits with it. And then usually it was a short time period, 6 months, 8 months, or whatever, and then I would start gaining the weight back. Um, this time has been completely different because I don't feel like I'm starving myself to lose the weight,
Oh
first of
yeah.
all. So I don't feel like this isn't something that I can continue to do forever. But also it's not just about the weight loss, it's about all the health benefits as well. So that's a big thing
Exactly.
for me.
Exactly. That's my focus as well. I mean, I still have so much, I like to consider it healing. I have so much more healing and so much more progress that I need to make with my better health goals. Um, but most definitely, I mean, the 4 years that I was on keto, I've never experienced the non-scale victories that I have with carnivore. Only almost about to just be only 8 months in. And as far as, I know you had mentioned when it came to your mental health, like I went through mental health when I was on keto.
Mhm.
Keto did not help me through that mental health. If anything, I think just kind of having too much variety on keto kind of made things a little bit worse, um, because it's kind of like you get in this mentality that you still want to keep your meals interesting being on keto. You still want to have the variety like you used to. on the standard American diet. So I think it was kind of like the combination of everything, already going through anxiety, going through depression. At the same time, my father had passed unexpectedly. So it's kind of like everything in the mix of things kind of just really threw me for a loop. And keto did not help any of that. I got into a really deep, dark place with my anxiety and with my depression. But when I went carnivore, I'm not going to say that, carnivore was the, be all to healing my mental health, but it was a huge component to having my body feeling just amazing. That it was the strangest thing that, like, I literally felt, and I don't know if you felt the same way, but it was almost as if I felt like people describe, like, a weight is being lifted off of you. Like, I constantly felt like I had a lot of just pressure on, like, my chest because anytime, I would get worked up in this anxiety phase or this depression, it's, you feel it in your head, you're feeling it heart-wise, and I did not feel that. And it was the strangest thing. I did go through mental health therapy, so I will definitely put it out there. I am not ashamed to say that. Um, but I got into a period of time where I was on the deep end and like I needed to get professional help. But doing the professional help as well as carnivore, I probably would have had to get professional help for a lot longer than I did had I not also had the help of carnivore, kind of having my body feeling right, going through that.
Hmm. Okay. So we are way behind on questions here. We're like 20 minutes behind.
Let's take a look.
Um, so I
I
know
think
I got like five
Judy,
or six
yeah,
of them.
Judy was
Yeah.
next.
I got like 5 or 6 of them queued up here. So let's
Do
see.
you do
Judy
sweets of
says,
any kind? All right.
sorry, go ahead.
Um, for sweets, myself, I don't incorporate any sweets at all. I am currently right now for almost 8 months now, just strictly just carnivore. So I don't purposely or intentionally have any sweets. Um, it is basically it because for my husband's birthday, just on August 5th, I did a carnivore cheesecake and there was no sweeteners in it. Have you incorporated any sweets at all, Brian?
Um, by mistake, yeah. Like when I say by mistake, as in I shouldn't do it, but I do it sometimes anyway. um, I've found that I'm the type of person that if I eat something sweet, it really any carbs for that
Uh-huh.
matter, I get the cravings and then I have a hard time dealing with the cravings for
Okay.
a couple weeks. So I really need to stay away from
Yeah.
them as much as possible. Um, so yeah,
Were you a
I mean,
sweets type of person? Because for me, I wasn't a sweets type of person. I was more the savory food lover.
yeah, I wasn't huge on sweets, but some things I would definitely eat, but wasn't like the person that was always constantly eating sweets. But
Yeah.
I've just found that it doesn't work well with me. Like I do my best when I'm not having any carb at all.
Yeah. I mean, for her saying that she was thinking of using stevia in my coffee, I mean, if you are coming basically from standard American diet, try using like the smallest amount at first and try to kind of wean off of it. I know a lot of people on carnivore, they do different incorporations for having coffee and they blend. I don't know if you've ever tried it, Brian. I have not, but they blend an egg, they whisk it
Mm,
in their black coffee, and they said it kind of makes it like a creamer, and they said it tastes good. I've not tried it myself because I have not reintroduced coffee at all. I have not had it for well beyond like a year. Um, I was thinking of reintroducing it, but at this point, I mean, I've been without it and have not really needed it. But I would say start off with the least amount that you could and see how you do with that.
Okay. And I'm not a coffee drinker at all. I never have been. So that's hard for me to even answer that question. So I'm glad that you were able to
Yeah, it's
answer it.
hard. It's difficult, especially if someone's coming straight from standard American diet to go extremely black if they're not used to it and if they're used to, sweetening it or, putting creamer in it. Because, think about it, like when we were having a lot of us, when we had it, we were almost having it like a dessert. Here we would put
Mm,
sugar in it, but then we would put creamer in it that guess what? That also had tons of sugar as well. So it's hard, but definitely I would see how just a little bits does and try to wean yourself off. But if you can't and you're going to stick with ketovore, it might not be much of an issue. I mean, if you're just simply having maybe like 1 cup just in the morning and just having a little bit of stevia, I mean, you could always be doing worse. So definitely show yourself some grace because, going from standard American diet to ketovore still yet, that is amazing. Not
mhm.
everybody has to go straight into carnivore. It's actually suggested to start, off as either keto or ketovore and then work your way into carnivore because then it makes it that much more of a easy transition. But yeah, don't beat yourself up about it, but try if you're going to do ketovore a little amount at first to see how you do with it.
Yep. All right. So let's see here. Next question. If Ryan Auntie says so he salted it 24 hours before cooking it, do you leave it in the fridge room temperature? Okay. Yeah, so this is talking about the steaks, going back to the steaks and the
Yeah.
dry brining. Um, so you salt all sides. So that includes like the top, the bottom, and the sides and all that stuff, right? Salt it really nice and good. Then put it back in the fridge overnight, 24 hours. And then what I have been doing is taking it out to like 30, 45 minutes or so before cooking it to kind of let it come to room temperature and then going and cooking it. All right.
Mhm.
Nicole wants you to say coffee again.
She cracks up because we're both from Jersey, but I'm from Northeast, so my accent comes really heavy and strong. Even though I've been in Florida for over 21 years now, still yet. The Jersey has not left me. It still very much is with me. So she gives me a hard time about it, but I love her, so I'm all good with it.
So I'm going to go away from the questions really quick. Intentional
Oh,
carnivore is here.
Sean. Thank you,
So
thank
Sean,
you.
yep, I gave coffee the boot. That's good. I know when we were talking about that before, he was still doing coffee. So good job, Sean.
Yeah, and thank you for being here because he's definitely busy in this YouTube world. He has a
Yes, he is.
busy schedule, so thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
All right, let's go to the next question. Here we go. Cindy. Oh, I think she already saw this. What is
Oh,
my channel?
possibly.
Let me see if this works. What am I doing wrong here?
Because I believe on my channel I have it tagged.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah, I
I'm not
should have your
sure
name
what I'm
tagged.
not sure what I'm doing on the live here. I hit show display names and it's not showing. Hmm. Okay. I'll tell you what, let me
You want to
go to
share your link in the comments?
Yeah, I can do that.
Mhm. Joe said that she'll binge watch your videos tomorrow when she's meant to be working.
Okay, that should be the link. Hopefully that worked right. Right. Next question from Susie. Do you experience any cravings for sweet stuff, savory carbs, or dairy products?
So the sweet stuff, no, because I have been a savory food lover for a very, very long time. And just kind of growing up, we did not have a lot of sweet stuff. I would say the most we had were bread type of products because I grew up with having my Turkish grandmother visiting very often, and everything that she cooked, oh my goodness, it was just freshly baked breads. There were bread type of recipes that had like meat stuffed in them or like spinach and feta cheese, and it was a lot of breads. So best believe I loved bread more so than anything sweet. But as far as the savory carbs, it would probably be bread, but it would have to be bread that was like as good as my grandmother's. So I'm not talking about like your Wonder Bread in the plastic baggie at the grocery store. I am talking about some homemade, just wonderful grandmother style bread is what I would love. Um, and then dairy products. So interesting enough, I actually put in my most recent uploaded video that I will be cut in the cheese come September. I'm not having any issues with dairy, so that's not my mindset of cutting it out. I'm not chasing the scale or anything like that. My scale, if it should ever be needed in the household, we keep it just in case, but it sits in the deepest, darkest corner of my closet. I do not follow the scale. I am not obsessed over the scale. So my reason for cutting out dairy is because being away for it for it was 4 months actually, because I did triple B and E from the start of January when I decided to kind of transition into carnivore. So triple B&E was January, and then I went up until 60 days, so up until the beginning of March, and I did not reintroduce cheese until May.
Hmm.
So for me, it kind of, I don't know, for me, it's just, it does not taste the same that like I remember how it tasted. And these would be like the same brand of cheese that I was having on keto, and it does not taste the same to me. So it's kind of like I got into the point where it's like I'm incorporating it just because, I'm incorporating it like a burger patty. I'm just putting the cheese on there and being like, oh, it's a cheeseburger. But it's not having the taste profile to me. It's not making a difference at all. I'm still getting more enjoyment from the beef patty than having it with the cheese. So it's kind of gotten to a point where it's like, here, I'm having it, but then again, I'm like taking a step back. Why? Why am I adding it if like it's not making any difference in taste? Like if I don't really need to have it, like why? So that's why I decided to kind of cut back on the cheese for the month of September and just kind of see how it goes to kind of just have my mentality kind of get through it, not incorporating it, and just kind of see how it goes for me.
Okay. When it comes to the cravings for sweet stuff, I definitely get them. What I find though is if I stay away from any kinds of carbs and just go with meat, water,
Mm,
season with salt, and I do that for a good week or so, that the cravings go away and I'm good. But then as soon as I have something I shouldn't, I get the cravings again, and it takes like a week or 2 to get rid of them. So that's how it has been for me. And I know there's people out there that can do that. They can, they can eat something every once in a while and it doesn't affect them. But for me, it does. It just brings the cravings back. So,
And, it's kind of scary in a way, when a lot of people, they can come off a plan and come off plan frequently, and they say it doesn't really trigger them. It's kind of scary because then it kind of makes you think, have they really healed enough to the point that the sugar is not kind of setting them off or triggering them in a way? Because for me, I'm literally afraid to go off of plan and to indulge in anything. Like even if it was for just kind of like a one experience kind of thing, I am so scared and so nervous that I would get sick.
mm,
That it keeps me away. Like that fear keeps me away from even succumbing to like anything. So for me, it's not, a lot of people would knock me sometimes that, oh, you're trying to be perfect. No, like I am flat out scared to get sick. That is why I stay away. That's why I have the strong mentality that I have because I know so well what it is to be sick.
mm.
Just like you had mentioned, what you had went through, like I went through a lot of similarities between like the pains, and I went through experiences of having limited mobility, being like a prisoner in my house. I went through severe IBS issues that kept me at home because I was fearful because a lot of times for a female restroom, you have a long line that you have to wait. Um, and a lot of times my husband would joke and he would say, "Oh, well, I'll just sneak you in the men's bathroom." And I'm like, "No, not with there being urinals in the men's bathroom. With my luck, I'll be seeing something I definitely do not want to see." But for me, it kept me at home because you become, subconscious that you don't want to go out like that. Especially like we couldn't go anywhere far either. Like as soon as we would start driving down the highway, it would be like 10, 15 minutes, and I'm telling my husband like, "All right, you need to exit and you need to exit now." And he got so used to it. And it was sad in a way because he got so used to, "Oh my God, like she needs to go use the bathroom like ASAP." And that is basically how we had lived for like a short little while of time before I said, "You know what? I am not going to leave the house because it's not fair to my family." Because here we would try to go out somewhere and we couldn't really enjoy the day because here we spend more time exiting off for me to use the bathroom versus us really being able to enjoy the day. So for me, that's what kind of keeps me away from all this stuff. Had I loved everything that's being listed here, yeah, because my favorite, if I did love sweet stuff, it was cookies. Like, I absolutely loved home-baked cookies, regardless of what kind of cookie it was. I was like Cookie Monster's sister. I loved it. I loved bread. I being part Turkish, oh yeah, I indulge in a lot of dairy growing up. But for me, it keeps me away to not get sick again.
um, and so here's Nicole says, "Who else is doing the no dairy for the month of September?" I already committed to that. I don't remember if that was maybe Nicole had a live stream where I told her that I would do
Oh
that.
yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. I don't know if anybody else out there, if you are, let us know in the chat. And also, I think we're caught up on questions. So if I missed any questions, I apologize. Just please put it back out there and we'll get to it. But I do have something I have to show here because I kind of thought I was the only person out there that doesn't drink coffee, but I'm not the only one.
Oh, you
Cindy doesn't
see?
either.
So we're like a trio now, me, you, and Cindy.
There you go. All right. So let's see. I think we're kind of caught up on questions.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of mentioning as far as healing from pain, and that is like an amazing non-skill victory just in itself to be pain-free because when I tell you that pain, it can really put a damper on your life. And just that alone, just being through pain can just make you feel depressed. Even if nothing else
Mhm.
is going on in your life to kind of bring on depression or sadness, being in pain and a high level of pain, like what a lot of us, for the majority out of this community, whether it be keto, ketovore, carnivore, we had some excruciating pain. Like, I have not met anyone so far kind of being on this journey for over 4 years. I have not met anyone that has mentioned anything that was minor pain. It was like excruciating pain. I've seen everyone mention that they've gone through. So it's an emotional thing, when you have people mentioning that they've had so much limitation, where a lot of times they had to spend a lot of their time sitting and not truly being active in their personal life, not being active with their family, not being active with their children. And then now, they're a whole new person now.
Yeah.
So for me, I love hearing that though.
Air frying
Oh, Nicole
auntie
dropped the
says that
link.
she
Thank you,
drinks
Nicole.
an what was that?
Nicole, she dropped your link for you too.
Oh, okay, thank you. Air frying auntie says that she drinks enough coffee for all of us, so
Oh, yes. When I tell you, she could be the mascot for it. She loves it. Do not take it from her because she will fight you for it. We like to joke and tease her about it because she loves it so much.
all right. So Cindy says she was in Dallas this weekend and went for her daily walk still in 107-degree weather. So that brings up a good question. Do you do any type of exercising like that, walking or anything?
So I just recently started. I had to take a little bit of a break because actually being on carnivore, I actually found out in the month of May. So that was pretty much at like the 4-month mark that I was doing carnivore, that my body was telling me, like, all right, hey, like we've had something going on. And now that you're not complicating your food and what you're giving me, I'm able to kind of tell you, like, there's something going on here. So I actually had found out the month of May through 2 MRIs while I was admitted in the hospital for a week. I had found out that I actually had white matter on the left side of my brain, and it was causing severe vertigo. It was causing ringing in my left ear. So I just had it unilateral in my left ear. But it was so severe to the point where I was admitted in the hospital. Like the doctors literally told my husband, like, yeah, like something is wrong with her. We don't know what until we obviously do testing, but they literally said to him, I apologize because we don't know yet, but she looks like she is hanging on for dear life. And I literally was, because I could not even walk through that emergency room entrance. Like my husband literally had to pull up to the emergency room drop off, had to rush out, get a wheelchair to come back to the car and get me, and had to wheel me in. Like that is how severe I was. Just because of what was going on with my brain, and I never knew. But come to find out, just kind of working with a neurology team, they had said that they're suspecting only because they ruled everything else out, such as MS. They thought at first that it might be MS, multiple sclerosis, but they said that they have a strong feeling that it was the anxiety and the depression I was going through. Like I had literally caused damage to my brain. And they said because I
mm,
just put so much strain on my heart, that ended up triggering this white matter to build. So when I express on my channel to people that I literally went through severe depression and anxiety, yeah, it was bad enough that I contemplated, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I had contemplated taking my own life. And here, little did I know already the damage I was already doing to my body. It's kind of like causing, the deep, dark depression, causing this anxiety. I was already slowly killing myself and I didn't even realize it until I started eating carnivore. And 4 months into it, my body was feeling so amazing that I did not have my body complicated with having all the aches and pains I had. So the only thing that was left that could not be resolved was that pain that I was going through neurologically. So I wholeheartedly, literally have to thank carnivore for saving my life. Because if I did not go carnivore, I wouldn't have been able to get the treatment that I was getting from the neurology team. Because from May up until present date, I've had to get therapy on my brain. They've actually set me up with an acupuncturist, and they're also doing things from like a holistic perspective because I requested not to take any medication at all. And they agreed only because they saw my lab work and they were like, okay, yeah, carnivore is doing really great for you. Your lab work is amazing. Um, so thankfully, they agreed to kind of doing everything from a more kind of holistic approach. Um, but really, truly, I'm just like you. For right now, um, carnivore is working amazingly for me. I don't have any reason current to change. But down the line in the future, I would love to experiment with other things. But still yet, as you said, I still also have progress I wanna make. There's still a lot of healing that I want to do. Um, but yeah, no, absolutely. I have so much to credit for it, and that's why I also keep going because it saved my life, and, if I basically had off-plan meals, who knows what would have happened to me.
mm.
If I kept complicating my body, going off plan or having like slip ups, as some people call it, I probably would have slowed the progression of when my body told me something was going on with me neurologically.
Mm. Well, I am glad that you did find carnivore, as are other people in the chat here are glad. So
No, thank you so much.
it's
Everyone
amazing
has been so
transformation.
supportive because I know everyone was kind of, yeah, because like Renee said, Sana sure had us scared. Yes, because I felt so bad. And I kept telling my husband, I was like, oh, you need to let people know. And he's like, no, you need to take care of you. And I was feeling bad for everyone. And I said, well, no, like, just try to post it. And here I'm trying to explain to him. And I couldn't even have my eyes open. Like, this is the hilarious part of it because he's trying to figure out YouTube. He knows nothing about YouTube. Like, this man is a tradesman, he is a construction guy. He does not know anything about this technological world that we all are in. So for me, I had to kind of have my eyes shut and have to describe to him how to do a community post on my channel to kind of share with everyone what I was going through, kind of give everyone an update. But no, I'm happy that he figured it out because I wanted everyone to at least get an update because I didn't know when it was going to be possible for me to give the update myself.
Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I strongly, wholeheartedly believe in that. No matter what, we are all going to be a work in progress. And I think that even what you're saying even supersedes our better health goal when it comes to healing, when it comes to weight loss. Making progress is so many aspects of life. Just like I said, it was so important for me to leave a toxic job that I was part of a year ago, and it was difficult. It was very, very difficult, but it did not do me any service when it came to my mental health. It also made like what I was going through on my keto journey, when I was going through the anxiety, depression, I started gaining weight because on top of going through the anxiety and depression, I was still working a toxic job. I had a horrible schedule with this job where I literally was going in daylight and I was coming out in darkness. Every aspect of it was just miserable. Like, it literally would not have someone going through depression or anxiety see any joy in the day. So it kind of made things a little bit worse for me. So I would say when he mentions, we all have progress to make, that is in all aspects of life, not even on this better health journey, but I think just in life in general, we all should just continue to be just a work in progress.
Hmm. Yes. And we have some people that are on the no coffee thing with us. Rick, I lost his comment somewhere, but Rick had said that he hates coffee, actually, I
He
think he
hated it,
said.
yeah.
And Kirk here is on day 14 of no coffee and not missing it. So we got more people
Yeah.
with no coffee.
Yeah, and just
Um,
like he said, I thought I would. I did too. I thought I would miss it, but I shocked myself as well.
and we have somebody else for the no dairy September challenge. Judy says that she will try the no dairy challenge in September.
Okay.
So we got
But I
another
will
person
say
there.
with that word challenge, I am not doing it necessarily as a challenge. I am more so doing it as a mindset thing, is what I'm gonna say. Because I don't know, I'm the type of person, and I don't knock anyone, everyone, you do you kind of thing when it comes to challenges. But I kind of feel like when you say something as a challenge perspective, it's kind of like I feel like that puts like a time restriction on it. And then it's like, what are you doing after that time restriction? So if you're going to do something from a challenge perspective, I would just say sometime within that challenge, get your mindset together on what your next steps are going to be. Because for me, I cannot go dairy free for 30 days and then come October,
Mm.
I'm like, okay, well, September's over. And I challenged myself and I stayed away from dairy. But you know what? I'm going to go in and just binge on the cheese now. No. For me, I don't know come October if I'm going to incorporate it at all. But if I do, I'm going to definitely focus on having the mindset of being minimal with it.
Okay. Um, so Nicole says, "This is why I love this community. Such a great support system. We are in this together." Completely agree with that.
So true.
And Chad quit coffee 2 years in and had huge gains, but also did not notice those until that 2 year mark. It is worth trying to quit every year, even for 1, 2, 3 years or more.
Oh, yeah. Because you figure, the longer you're actually keeping away. Because I used to drink so much coffee. When I tell you, previously before I've done work from home, but I was actually managing a multi medical practice. And the funny thing was, we would reserve the elevator for the patients. So I felt like I was like living on the staircase. And the employees, they used to crack on me because they were like, "Oh, that sauna is like a hamster on a wheel, but instead of being a hamster on a wheel, she's going up and down the staircase." So I literally felt like exactly like they described a hamster on a wheel because I literally was charged on coffee and I was like up and down that staircase. So when I tell you, it definitely probably was because of the caffeine that I was able to go up and down that staircase so many times. But definitely, I would say, like, now being away from it for, like, over a year, I would probably say, like, energy-wise, like, I'm now having, like, natural energy. And the question that you actually asked me about activity, I just started incorporating, doing sit-ups. So I'm doing just, to kinda take things easy because obviously, like, post my hospital stay from May, and I did clear it, with the neurologist and all of that. And he said, that's fine because I'm actually going slow in the beginning, but I am doing kind of a brisk walk on the treadmill for a mile, nothing crazy. That way I can kind of test and see how, my mind does with it brain wise. And then I'm doing sit ups, doing 30, and then push-ups, I'm also doing 30, and I'm doing it each morning, just Monday through Friday kinda thing. But it's just kinda to do some extra activity because I do work from home Monday through Friday, and, by the time I get off, it's kind of, my husband's home, I'm kinda getting into the mode of being mother and wife and cooking and kinda taking care of whatever needs to be taken care of in the house. So regardless, I'm always active, being a mother and a wife and kind of upkeeping the house. But as far as like committed physical activity, committed me time, committed self love time, I have incorporated every morning those things. And so far, so good. So thankfully, I haven't had any issues. And being able to do it, not supercharged on coffee, definitely helps.
Yeah. Um, I think we are caught up on questions. If you have a question, go ahead and put in the chat with a Q in front so we know.
I see comments
Um,
about my accent
yeah,
because I say sauce. Because how do you say sauce?
sauce.
I don't know, like, I try to say it differently because 'cause I've tried, like, saying it, like, different accents, just kinda joking with my husband, and he's like, "Yeah, no," he's like, "You could still hear it."
They love your accent, though.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, there's certain words that they love to hear me say. Even, like, my coworkers, they started cracking on me about it too because I can't give too much information because, the way it is in the medical world, especially when you work from home. They have everybody sign the non-disclosure agreements, but I work for like one of the largest insurance companies. So there's a lot of words like cost. So when I say cost and they're like, oh, say it again. So it's like I have a whole training class of people that just ask for me to talk throughout the training class. And I'm like, no, I'm going on mute.
Judy said she requested to follow you on Instagram.
Okay. I will say that I am not as active on Instagram. I still have it, so if anyone messages me, I actually had something kind of like scary that happened, and I am all about like transparency, so I don't mind mentioning it. But I actually had somebody, and I don't know if anybody knows because I'm not, too much of like an Instagram person, but I actually had somebody try to call me, kind of like a stalkerish kind of thing at 2 o'clock in the
Mm.
morning. Yeah. So once that happened, yeah, I don't really post all that much on Instagram because of that, because it just, I don't know, it really creeped me out. to the
Mhm.
point where I have not posted on Instagram. It's kind of like I've made my account on there almost kind of look dead. So I will definitely add you, but I will just say don't expect to see anything on there anytime soon. I am more so just in the YouTube world. But thank you. Thank you for sending that request.
All right. So tell me, what do you have going on your channel this week?
Well, I still so I've asked everyone because I don't ever want anyone to feel like I am just kind of showing my meals when it comes to my two mad meals that I'm kind of just cooking and preparing. And for me, I always want to kind of hear everyone's feedback of what they want to see. But everyone said that they still like seeing and getting ideas of the foods that I'm eating. So I'm still continuing with that. So I do show 4 days worth at a time. I still keep consistent with trying now to post my grocery hauls. You will definitely hear me on those grocery haul videos to show me grace because I am definitely not used to managing a receipt and going through the rundown of everything that I purchased. But I've kept consistent with that. What new is going on is Cindy and I, we will actually on Fridays be going live. So it's going to be 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will be able to find that because we're going to take turns each week of who's going to host, so we both can kind of get a feel of the hosting role. But that is what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of get our feet wet with doing weekly Friday lives and kind of just doing it from like a chit chat perspective, a Q&A perspective, just something kind of laid back. Because I had heard someone mention before that they like weekly lives when channels do it because they kind of felt like it was catching up with a friend. It was kind of just seeing, oh, let me check to see, what this channel friend is up to this week, or what has been going on in their journey. So I love that perspective that they had. So for me, I felt, I wanted to collaborate with somebody, and I just thank Cindy wholeheartedly for taking the bait that she was more than willing to do a weekly collab with me because I was going to do it solo, but no, she definitely came to the rescue to pair with me. But as far as the channel link, the link for the live. So if you're my subscriber, if you go to my live tab, you will see the notify me option. So that should be able to get you set up for that live.
Is that the one that says first channel live?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put that in the
Thank you. Thank you.
thing here if I can hit the right button. Okay. Where was I? Okay. I enjoy doing the lives. The lives I do participate in. It's like hanging out with friends from afar. Yep. And here's that link.
Oh, thank you, Shauna. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. All right. So let's see. For my channel, um, I have an interview coming out tomorrow with Ron from Overcoming Carbs. He has
Oh,
a
okay.
newer, like in the last couple months, I think, channel. Um, maybe even newer than that. And so we had a good conversation, and I have that interview coming out tomorrow. And then I'm working on another interview later this week. I'm going to be gone for a couple days to take my youngest daughter for her freshman year of college, take her to her dorm. And then next week gets busy for me. I have 3 days in a row of lives: Sunday,
Oh,
Mon-
wow.
Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night. So Sunday, I will be with Greg from My Weight Loss Life, and we're calling it the Carnivore Bowl. Um, so kind of like a spinoff right of the Super Bowl. And we're going to talk a little bit maybe about some carnivore style tailgating foods and talk a little bit about the upcoming NFL season. So it's going to be kind of a sports and carnivore type related
Yeah,
day.
no, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I think that's going
That'll
to be
be a lot
fun.
of fun, yeah.
And then I have another one on Monday. Nicole and Alia and Greg are going to be in that one. And then Tuesday night, I have a live stream with Dave Mack from No Carb Life. So I have a busy start to the week next week with lives. It's going to be kind of crazy. Let's see, what do we got? Let's see if I catch up here. All right, I think we're caught up.
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of get myself more out there because I
Yeah.
appreciate you reaching out to me, and I've had some others that have also reached out to me to collaborate. And oh, it's I'm gonna answer Judy right here
Okay.
because she was saying that she felt stupid, and I said, no, I said, never say that about yourself. But no, my channel name is Mrs. Perfectly Imperfect Keto.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Because
Trying
I
to get
believe
the
you have it
link.
tagged on here. Yeah, I could have swore Brian had it tagged on here. All right, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. You know what's weird is like I can't figure out how to get our names to display. Oh, this time it worked.
Oh, there it is.
The last time I clicked on it, nothing happened, and this time I click on it and they pop up. I don't get it. I don't know what I did wrong
It,
before.
it is okay. This is going to be me come Friday, but like 10 times worse. So you are doing like 1,000 times better.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You'll probably do better than me, but that's okay.
Oh no, it's like I wholeheartedly I'm gonna be positive going into it. But yeah, we shall see.
Yeah, I agree with this. It's just YouTube testing me.
Testing,
So
yes.
yeah.
It does love to do that. There's a
All
lot that I
right.
will never understand when it comes to YouTube. Yes, just like Sean said, technology sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely went through it because I want to say this first 3 weeks of training, we have one application for work that we actually have to get our work for the day from. But we have like several applications that we have to use. So like when I tell you when a job asks you like are you willing to deal with like interchangeable screens? Yeah. I definitely will say this job consists of a lot of interchangeable screens because not only do I have two monitors, but I also have a laptop that is a third screen. So there's three screens involved. But for whatever reason, out of the dozens of applications they have us working on, one, just one, decided not to work since day one.
Hmm.
And when I tell you we reached out to the IT, they could care less because for them, they're like, oh, okay, we'll make a ticket. That's okay. But me, I am a person, I will show you a lot of grace, but if you come across to me like you do not care like about what I'm going through and you are rude about it, I am sorry, like the Jersey girl in me will come out. So, yeah, we had a meeting with somebody from IT, and he was so disrespectful to my supervisor. And I am sorry, but in the most kindest, professional, respectful way, I tore into him. And I think I kind of shocked her because like her jaw just dropped on the call. We were all in video chat and her jaw just dropped. She was just like, oh, wow, like I didn't know she had that in her. But best believe I was the first one out of our training class to have their computer fixed. And I actually tasked him to fix everybody else's. I was like, oh, well, it only took you less than 10 minutes to fix mine. So surely you could fix everybody else's. And he did. He did. So today, everybody, after 3 weeks worth, everybody's computers were fixed today. So they were like, oh, wow. They were like, if ever we have technical issues, we are going to get you on it because you do not play with these people. But it's very true. The technology just stinks sometimes.
Yeah. It's funny because Sean made that comment, and I remember a few weeks back, it's maybe more like a month ago, I can't remember. But I did an interview with Sean, and afterwards we were talking, and we were both talking about how we couldn't figure out how to do certain things on Instagram. it, it's funny because like a lot of times I'll just go to my kids, like, "How do you do this? How do you do that?"
Right.
And they know how to do it, right?
I get shocked because I'm literally telling you, like, I literally felt like when I handed our 6-year-old a tablet, because he just recently had gotten a tablet, maybe like 2 months ago. And it's like it came second nature to him. Just like watching his older brother because they're both miracle babies. So they have a big age gap because they're miracle babies. So the oldest is going to be turning 15 the end of October. The youngest is 6. So just kind of watching over the shoulder of Big Brother, he just knew. Like we literally handed that tablet to him and he can do stuff on it that, like, I never did because, if you think back to when we were kids, we didn't have technology like they have today. Like, they have all this, like, 1080p and HD and no, no, I never like, my Disney movies did not look like the Disney movies of today. Even, like, the cartoons never looked the way they look today. But when I tell you, it's like he just had that second nature, like he just knew how to work that thing. And I was just in awe. I was just shocked. I was like, okay, like I guess you don't need a tutorial from mom. So I totally get it when you have to sometimes ask your kids things and it's shocking.
Mhm. Yep. All right. Well, we're almost an hour and a half in, so I don't see any more questions in the chat. So let's kind of finish it off here a little bit. And I don't really have anything particular, so why don't you just kind of finish us off with what you would like to tell our audience?
Well, first and foremost, I always tell everybody at the end of my videos that I thank each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you because Mondays can really stink if we let them. And, to kind of have your Monday with us, I want to say I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. You can be doing everything and anything with your time, but the fact that you made time to be here and support both of us, myself as well as Brian, we wholeheartedly appreciate each and every one of you. So I just want to thank you all, genuinely from the deepest bottom part of my heart. Sincerely, I wanna thank you all, and I just appreciate each and every one of you.
All right,
And
well said.
definitely support Brian. Anyone that is a subscriber of mine, definitely support Brian. I so appreciate because, a lot of times, other channels, they can make it about how many subscribers another channel has, and I've noticed a lot of people genuine in the community, they don't make it about that. I'm not a channel that has thousands of subscribers. So the fact that Brian just, genuinely, he just wanted to have me on his channel, um, just kind of having interest of me and my journey. I wholeheartedly appreciate that. So definitely support Brian because any channel that goes out their way to support and to shine the light on a channel like mine, I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, and I hope that any of my viewers are also supporting you and going to your channel and subscribing. Um, just kind of like Chaz says here, what I love is how we just want to help others, and for sure fun meeting so many new folks. But yeah, helping others, that's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing, is trying to help other people um,
Absolutely.
learn about the carnivore diet.
Yes. And that's something I mention on my channel as well. For me, the only thing that brings joy to me to see my subscriber number ever grow is because that is just showing to me that even more people are interested in living a proper human diet. So many
Mm,
people are interested in healing themselves. And that's like what excites me. No other aspect of having a big channel would excite me or bring joy to me because I truly feel, and I always tell everyone, I was keto for 4 years. I never had a YouTube channel. Only at the point where I started experiencing healing with carnivore did it encourage me to have a channel in January. That was the only point that I truly felt like, you know what? I have a calling to let people know that you can most definitely go from being years on keto or years on ketovore. And if that no longer serves a purpose for you, you can absolutely change at any given time. You are not required to be on any set way of eating just because it's the trend at the time. Just because everyone else is doing it. No, you have to see and do what is best for you. So for me, I think that having that increase in subscribers is just it's amazing from that aspect, seeing everyone healing and so many new people. Just like Chad said, seeing so many new people that, you've never seen some of these names before. And they're actually telling you, like, I've only been carnivore for 3 days. And it's exciting to be part of their journey only because we know firsthand how much they're going to experience, like how much goodness they're going to experience. And it's exciting for us. And a lot of times, I get emotional about it. When I see someone and they share their story with me, it hits my emotions because I know firsthand what they're in store for. Because even like I said, the scale might not move for them because the scale, like you said, it's kind of like a silver lining. You experience a weight loss, you experience just changes on the scale as a silver lining, but the the healing aspect of it is just incredible. It is not comparable to anything the scale will ever say, but
mm,
I absolutely agree. When it comes to the community and having those new names come across, absolutely incredible.
mhm.
Oh, Kim. Hi, Kim. I hope you've had a great Monday.
Yep. All right. Well, I kind of need to go.
Sure.
So, Sana, thanks for being on.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
to
for
everybody in
having
the
me.
audience, everybody that's been chatting and asking questions. Thank you, everyone. I hope I can hit your live on Friday. So, hopefully, I'll be able to get to that, and I can ask you questions then. So, all right.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.